So we are here at the Why Cut What Works rally, which is just going to be starting in a few minutes. So we got a good turnout from our staff here. This is Ann Sanders and Ken Munns, our food stamp specialists. Want to show your signs, guys? Of course, that's why we're here, for a responsible budget.
That's right.
There's Mary Elizabeth McCarthy, our board secretary.
Yesterday morning.
That's cool. So yeah, it probably looks like there's about 200 people here at this point.
We're here because the folks up in Harrisburg think it's a great idea to target social services and things that help poor people meet their basic needs as a way to balance the budget instead of looking at ways to increase revenue. It's just like terrible. It's unconscionable. It's like telling someone like you can have half a loaf of bread to eat for a week and then cutting it back to 2 slices. Like that's what they're doing.
Some of the cuts to the Department of Public Welfare are just going to make that situation a lot worse.
Right.
They're talking about to the tune of about $470 million in cuts, I think.
Right,
now.
right.
Yeah.
And it's already hard enough for clients to jump through the hoops that exist, let alone if they're planning on putting up more hoops, making it harder for people to reach caseworkers, harder for people to apply. That's just going to mean that more people are going hungry.
I think it's absolutely immoral what's happening. I've never seen anything like this in all my years. I feel that they're targeting the welfare people unfair, and their special allowances from them, which allows them to get some clothes to start a job and so forth. And also they're targeting the daycare of those welfare to work people. Now that's going to put those people right out of work because they can't leave their children home alone. So this is immoral. It doesn't make sense. And there's no way to balance the budget. And frankly, Roosevelt would be rolling in his grave if he thought already agreed on it.
Cut what's worked is what we're here to say.
Why cut what works is what we're here to say.
Nonprofits and foundations are gathered here today.
Nonprofits and foundations are gathered here today.
That's the question. My name is Bob Nelkin, President of United Way, and this is a joint project with the Pittsburgh Foundation and Grant Oliphant, who couldn't be here today, the Greater Pittsburgh Nonprofit Partnership, Dewey and Kaye, and hundreds of nonprofit leaders and advocates, and thank you for being here. We are, in fact, leaders of human services across the state. If you think of Team Pittsburgh, we've accomplished so much over the last couple of decades, and it's all at risk today. I think we're dreadful of what is going to happen in Harrisburg as the state budget is approved. Children, people with disabilities, victims of rape and domestic violence, families, struggling families, will all be hurt by these cuts. But think of this too. Taxpayers also are going to be hurt, because many of these programs, because of their effectiveness, actually save taxpayers monies. We're here today because the people who benefit from these services and may be harmed have no lobbyists. They make no political contributions. They don't have a political action committee that funds the various elected officials. In many ways, they have no access to and no voice in the state budget considerations. And so we ask them.
Our nonprofit organizations and foundations have gathered here in Market Square to ask that profound question.
Why cut what works?
We are the little guys who do big things in communities. We do not have the backing of the big buck brothers. We just have heart heartfelt testimonies from true grassroots people who sometimes need a hand up, not a handout.
Nonprofits are the backbone of our community safety net. They leverage significant financial and voluntary resources to support our communities. Our agencies are the first stop when people are in need. And here's what we know. This economy has placed many families and individuals in a situation where they're struggling to make ends meet. Well, the U.S. Census reported that 1 in 7 Americans live in poverty. It's 1 in 4 in Pittsburgh. At a time when people are in need, why cut what works? Our human service agencies, our frontline providers, have witnessed significant increase by first-time households seeking assistance in electric bills, seeking help with rent, and emergency shelter. In a time when people are in need, why cut
what works?
Recovery is slow. Now is not the time to cut. Nonprofits have stepped up to the role of community safety net. They're frugal managers and spend wisely. In 2008, when the economy crashed, they reduced spending, used reserves, and added staff workloads to increase. They cannot continue to respond to the government to this crisis through government cuts. The Greater Pittsburgh Nonprofit Partnership remains committed to our neighbors. Rather than cutting the safety net, rather than cutting what works, we urge government to work with us to make all communities viable for all citizens. Thank you.
I cannot believe that the governor could be this heartless. I know you're not this heartless, Governor Corbett, and I hope you get well. Bye-bye.